Hi, thank you for joining me if you're watching me on the replay. First of all, I should just say, just before I came live, I had the strangest thing that's just happened. The strangest thing. Literally, I couldn't get onto Haps all day when I tried to earlier on today. And for the last 10 minutes, I've been trying to get on. I turned my phone off, switched it back on, and I went to go live. And it's just as if you were going into somebody else's broadcast on an invite. You know that screen that appears, the black screen before you see anything, and you press the broadcast button. I could hear something in the background. It was the very most surreal thing I have seen, and I felt like somebody was there. It was very weird. So welcome everybody. Welcome to my broadcast. Tonight we're going to be making a HelloFresh meal, which you already know I like to do the HelloFresh meals. This is one that I've done before, but I'm kind of going back through them all again and trying to see which is the cheapest one to make without the subscription. Because although if you want to take out a subscription, try this for yourself, you can get $40 off. That's links in the bio. Let me put the link tree in the chat. 1 minute. Let me just pop this in. If you go to the link tree, that's where all the discounts are, and then click on the correct flag for your country if it's the US. There's also one for the UK as well. We get £20 off. Some people like HelloFresh, some people don't. But you have to remember, if you had a bad experience using HelloFresh, hello Zoe. If you had a bad experience of using HelloFresh, it's probably because of the ingredients. So we've gone out and actually got the ingredients separate. So all the ingredients I'm using today are what's in the recipe. However, they've been bought separately. Okay. Hello, Melanie. Happy Saturday. So tonight we're doing, it's on the title, meatballs with bacon and onion gravy with a cheesy mash. Okay. So this is hopefully how it's going to look. Hello, Sarah. Thank you for coming in. Okay. So this is what we're going to be doing next week. Next week, today. I think if we're doing it next week, then it'll be cold, won't it? And out of date. So for this recipe, then you're going to need. Get ready if you want to write this down. You're going to need potatoes. Okay, you're going to need some pork mince. Now, if you remember yesterday, we used pork mince, so we've got half the pork mince. You want 120 grams of pork mince. This is for 2 people. You're going to need 120 grams of beef mince. So we're doing pork and beef together. You're going to need some Italian herbs. So let me just grab them out of the cupboard. Hopefully we've had a nice day. Oh, I've lost my herbs. Oh, there they are, at the side. 1 minute. There we go. So we've got some herbs, some mixed herbs. You're going to need a red onion. I've not even got half this stuff out of the fridge. Let me check. So you want a red onion. Let me get this out. I thought I just got this out, but I didn't. Okay, so red onion. Okay, and you're going to need some panko breadcrumbs. Now, I'm using normal breadcrumbs. However, if you don't want to go and buy all these breadcrumbs, the best thing you can do is take a loaf of bread. So if you've got any breadcrumbs, you can pop them in the oven, toast them, pop them to one side. I don't think there's anything much different with these, other than they're in a packet. Okay. You're going to also need bacon. So you're going to need cheddar cheese. So we've got a block of cheese here. Hello, KD. Thank you for joining. I've not seen you for a while, KD. How are you doing? Lovely to see you. Everybody follow KD, because I haven't seen you for ages. So hopefully you're well. You're also going to need some bacon lardons. So you actually need 60 grams. In here I've got 200 grams. So you notice how, this is enough for 2 people, but you would possibly need not even half of that to make it for 4 people. So we're not going to need all that. So bacon lardons. You're going to also need some water for the sauce. So normal tap water. Chicken stock powder. Let me grab my chicken stock powder. 1 moment. Thank you, Thomas, for the high 5 award. Remember, guys, share, subscribe, and send awards. Or no, sponsor. If you want to sponsor, you can do. That's entirely up to you. Okay. Yeah, so these are just normal chicken stock cubes that I'm using. Okay, so let me pop those back in the cupboard. Okay, and then finally you're going to need some broccoli. Not even got the broccoli out. Where's the broccoli gone? One moment. So we've got some broccoli, nice fresh broccoli. Okay, pop that to one side. And then are you also finally going to need some red currant jelly? Let's get some red currant jelly out. 1 second. Oh no, I've got it all over. I'll try and read the comments as I'm going through. Now, before I do start, I've got some facts for you. So most cookbooks are for 6 to 8 people. There you go. That's Hannah. Hannah says most for 6 to 8 people. So yeah, if whatever your recipe you've got, if you just divide it, by basically how many people you're cooking for. Okay. So first of all, before I start, I actually managed to get my Simply Cook recipes for the month. So they came through, and in the actual box, they send you a little leaflet. So on this leaflet, I was reading it. They were saying that because we're in spring, I don't know, obviously in different places around the world, you obviously don't have, you're not in spring, but I think majority of you are in late spring now, or early spring over here. There were some facts. So we've got asparagus is in season, if you didn't know that, especially in the UK, 8 weeks in the UK from the end of April until June. Okay, you can use this in cheese tarts to a Malaysian lasca. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one. We've got spring greens as well, which we did the other week. We did some spring greens the other week, which you can just roast. They're great in what's called a so they're basically first cabbages of the year. And then finally, we've got some Jersey Royal potatoes as well. So if you don't know where Jersey is, it's in the south of England. Well, it's in the Channel Islands. So Jersey Royal potatoes, I don't know if you can see that one. This is what they look like. They're some of the best potatoes, I think, in the world. So if you must have all heard of Jersey potatoes before, they're actually in season. So fingers crossed, if I get my hands on some and I see them, we shall make a recipe with Jersey potatoes. Okay, great with soy and honey salmon. There you go. And then finally, I just wanted to go through this. So this is a little fact sheet about proteins and how much protein you should have in your diet. So it says here, how much protein do we need in our diets? Okay. So what is protein, first of all? Protein is a basic macronutrient that contains nitrogen, which is the essential for growth. Okay. The main sources of protein are obviously animal proteins, which are meat, eggs, and dairy, plant proteins, which are pulses and cereals, and whey protein, which is also an animal protein made from dairy products. This is the ingredient that food manufacturers add to their food and drinks to boost their protein content. Okay, so you've got your 3 types of protein there. Okay, so how much do we really need in regards to protein? Have a guess. What do you think is the amount of protein you should be eating? So I'm going to read this for you. It says here, for reference, a chicken breast contains 43 grams of protein, a large egg contains 6 grams of protein, and a 100-gram serving of chickpeas contains 19 grams, and 1 serving of almonds, 23 nuts, the equivalent of, contains 6 grams of protein. Okay, it says here the average adult requires 0.75 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, according to the British Heart Foundation. So if a person weighed, this is as an example, 70 kilograms, they would need 52.5 grams of protein. Studies have shown that we tend to eat 20% more protein than is required on an average on average every day. Hello, Janet. Thank you for joining. Zoe's not sure. So you can actually work out the amount of protein that your body requires by your body weight in kilograms, okay? Times it by 0.75, and that will give you your recommended daily protein intake. So you're actually learning something today, which I don't usually do before I come on. But I just saw it and I thought, let's read this out because it looks really, really good. So take your body weight in kilograms, times it by 0.75, and that will give you your recommended daily protein intake, and that's in grams. Okay, so it gives you an idea of how much protein you should be eating. Use it for all age groups, and that's a really great example. So your kilograms in weight, times it by 0.75, and that will give you a recommended daily protein intake. Okay, it also says here the best way to stay healthy is to eat protein through non-processed sources such as eggs, pulses, nuts, seeds, fish, and meat. And if you're worried about not eating enough protein, the chances are you're not already getting enough. Okay, so there you go. A bit of a lesson for you on protein. Okay, so let's make a start then. We're going to be doing meatballs. Thank you, Matt, for the Super Heart Award. I do appreciate that very, very much. I've already boiled the water, so let's get the water on for the potatoes. So I'm going to pour this into a saucepan, and then we're going to make a start on the potatoes. So really, really easy. Let me switch that on so the water starts to boil. Okay, thank you, Minesh, as well, for the Super Heart Award. Hopefully you've learned something new there. And if you like that sort of thing, if you've got any questions at all, I'd happily go and find out for you and then let you know more about it on my next broadcast. Okay, I think that was really good because I would have never known that, and I just thought it was really interesting. Okay, so you're going to take your potatoes. Now I'm going to peel these so I'm going to bring you down. Fingers crossed the connection stays good. Fingers crossed. So we're going to take our potatoes and let's peel these. Now it doesnn't ask for you to peel them, but I want to use this, which is my new potato peeler, and it is awesome. So I'm not going to peel all of them though, just the ones that I've got the sort of lumps on the side. Okay. I think I need to eat more protein. Yes, it's very important for a balanced diet. Now I know people might be vegan, people might don't eat meat, that sort of thing. So it doesn't matter. You can eat the equivalent of where you can get your protein sources, nuts and things like that. So, but eat more of them. So, I think next week we might touch on like carbohydrates and fats, because I think it's always good to know what food to eat. So leave it with me and we'll actually learn something as well. We'll learn as we go along. I love this peeler. Where did I get this from? IKEA. Now I know Alexa sells one similar to this. Well, it's probably better than this. So you might already have one. But I really like this peeler compared to the other one that I had. Okay, 2 more to go. This is the bit where I go a bit silent while I'm cooking, whilst I'm preparing. As I say, you can keep all the skins on, but some of the skins on here just are not that great. So if that happens, then give them a good wash and cut and peel them off. I'm still waiting for a machine. I'd love a machine that would actually, just peel it for you. There is one, but you would think in 2021 there would be a machine that you just put a potato in and it'll just peel it for you. There's definitely a market for them. Okay, so that's all the potatoes done. Isn't that good peeler? Yeah, IKEA. Okay, let me just get rid of the skins. It's been ages since I peeled potatoes. Like properly, because normally when I've been doing the Hello Fresh, it always says leave the skins on. Okay, so we're just going to chop these up. Let me get a knife. Choose a different knife today. So it says here, bring a large saucepan of water to a boil on high heat. Chop the potato into 2 centimetre chunks. So remember, these are going to be turned into cheesy mash. So I pop them in. Oops. Pop these into my saucepan. And then after this, we'll make a start on the meatballs. Put a thumbs up in the chat if you love meatballs. Maybe you haven't. Do you buy meatballs, or do you make them yourself? Are they really orders? Where are they? Can you find out for me and let me know? I have looked on Amazon before, you know, but they never look really good, if I'm honest. They look like they're going to break after a few times. So these are just going into hot boiling water. Remember, the smaller you cut them up, the quicker they will cook, which is what you want. I've not used this knife set for ages. I think this is an Anthony Warhol Thompson knife set. Smaller the better, remember. Have you got one, have you? Oh, you'll have to let me know where you got it from. Okay. So 2 centimetre chunks. And then I'm going to put a lid over. I'll put some salt in here as well. So you can't see, but I'll spin you up in a minute. So a bit of salt. And then I'll put the lid over it. Wash my hands. Now I'm going to have to put the oven on as well because I'm going to have to be roasting some broccoli. So let's get that nice and hot. Okay. Get rid of this. So put the lid over it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do then is we're gonna make the meatballs. So I don't know if you can all see. Let me get my pan hot as well. Are we ready to make meatballs, guys? Can you all see this? I don't know if you can see this very well. Fingers crossed. Can you all see that now? Fingers crossed. So we've got our lean pork mince. So you want 120 grams of each. Now I'm just going to double check I've got enough. Or maybe... So let me just double check. Oops. Oh, my scales have gone a bit funny. Let me just turn it off. Switch it back on. There we go. Press the on button again. Okay, so you want 120 grams. Well, I think I've got more than enough here. Yeah, I've got more than enough here. So it's a good job I checked. That'll be fine. Might be able to make some more afterwards. So we've got our pork mince there. Now let's do the... You can actually put it back on. Press the on button. Then we're going to add some beef mince. And again, you want 120 grams. You can make more. I just like for it to be precise. There we go. So I'm going to put that to one side. Okay, so here we've got our pork mince and we've got our beef mince. Okay, so just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can all hear me. Sometimes the comments don't come through. Okay, so we're going to put the pork and the beef mince into a large mixing bowl. So we have a large mixing bowl. So we'll put that in. Why aren't you using what was sent in the box? So I've not actually got the ingredients. I've done this recipe before with the ingredients from HelloFresh. This is just the recipe that I have now with separate ingredients. So we've got the recipe, but we're doing it with food that I've bought separately, not from HelloFresh. So, and just to show you how it's a little bit cheaper sometimes to do some recipes compared to others. So we're putting the pork and the beef mince into a large mixing bowl. We're going to season with salt and pepper. So we've got 240 grams here. We're going to add some pepper. Add some salt. I'm going to put on my pan so it starts to get hot. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to add Italian seasoning. Now I'm using mixed herbs. So we're going to add some mixed herbs into this. We're going to add some panko breadcrumbs. So you want 15 grams, which I think is 2 tablespoons if I'm right. So we're going to add some panko breadcrumbs, just like that. Yeah, I'm probably going to make some more meatballs, so with what's left, because I've got plenty of beef and pork left, so we can do an extra few. Okay, and then what we're going to do, maybe I could do that now, shouldn't I? I should put the extra in. Let's put the extra in now, so we make more. So we'll put an extra one. So it's sort of like a handful of pork. And a handful of beef. Let me just wash my hands again. So really, I think we've got about 150 here. So 150 grams of each. So you could add. Shall I add a bit more? Let me just check. I'm going to add it. Yeah, I'm going to add an extra. I think that's enough panko breadcrumbs. Add a little bit more herbs. Just break this up. And then what we're going to do is add 1 tablespoon of water per person using your hands. So let's add a little bit of water. So 1 bit of water there. 2 tablespoons of water. Okay. So we're just going to get in there. I might add some more. So just mix it in with your hands. I think I'm going to add some more panko breadcrumbs into this. Second. Add a bit more panko breadcrumbs in here. That's enough. And again, get in there with your hands. So mix it all in. Use your hands and mixing the seasonings into the meat, then shape them into small balls. And you should have 5 per person. Okay. I think I could do with a bit more panko breadcrumbs, to be honest with you. So this is 1. Let's add a little bit more in. I'm just going to put these in a bowl, just like that. So we've got 1. So you want to be small, so that they cook in the middle. That's 2. So remember, I think we've got 5 per person. Remember, you can always just roll the meat and then put the panko breadcrumbs in the into the meat. They want to be quite small. You don't want to make them too big. Can you see that, guys? So let me know if you've ever done meatballs before. I think once you know how to make them, they are quite simple to make. And then it says, make sure you roll them well in the palms of your hands to prevent them falling apart when cooking. And then heat a splash of oil. Yeah, I think these are. I think last time I made them too big. I might need a few more breadcrumbs in this because these are not panko. Well, they're just normal breadcrumbs, but I think you'll know how much to put in so that they stick. Done them once. And you remember when you made them? Was it a while ago or was it quite recent? I think I need the ones that I've made. They need to be split up because I think I made these too big. But then again, it's only. I'd rather have bigger ones than again smaller ones do cook quicker. Let me know. Do you like yours small or quite big? So doing because I'm using breadcrumbs. These are not sticking very well. I think I need a bit more water because I did put some more meat in, didn't I? So I add a little bit more water. So they stick a little bit better. Okay, we just put some oil in the pan. And then I'll spin you around in a second. The pan's getting nice and hot. Here's the meatballs so far, guys. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're quite big. So I would maybe, you like them small. What I might do is make these a little bit smaller. Because I know the middle one, if they're big, you always add an egg to yours as well. That's a good idea. These are, I think the smaller the better actually. I've made mine a bit too big. You're meant to get 5, you're meant to get 10 in total, and I've got 7. So I think I've made them too big. So making mine a little bit smaller. And a little tip for you is when they go in the pan, we're going to do it in a clockwise position. And the reason we do that is so you know in which order which have cooked quicker. So whilst I'm doing this, I'm going to spin you around and you will see the pan. I'll have to lift you up in a second. I'm going to start to add these in, okay? So we'll add the small ones in first. So it actually says here when you add them in, add the meatballs and cook until brown for 5 to 6 minutes. Okay? And then we'll start so we're going to put these in. I'm going to make mine just a little bit smaller. You want them. So what do we think, guys, so far? I'm going to go around in a clockwise position. I'm going to put the big. Well, I'm going to make put a big one in there. You could also put the lid over these, I think. Oh, you can't see it at the minute, guys, but They smell really good. This is definitely on. Turn it up a little bit. So it's taking a bit of time. I've got loads of meat. These. Okay, so we've now gone all the way around. So we'll go inside the middle. So remember, meatballs are made of pork and beef. Salt and pepper, mixed herbs, panko breadcrumbs. We can drizzle, and we've got a little bit left to make one more. So we use all the meat. We're not wasting any. It says 5 to 6 minutes on each one. We'll see what happens. Okay, so that's all the meatballs. Let me just clear up a minute. I'll lift you up in a second. What do we think, guys? All right? There we go. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, wash your hands, definitely, obviously. Make sure that's on properly so you can see. Okay, so next thing we're going to do then, it says, so we've gone in a clockwise position, so we know exactly which ones have been cooked the longest. So it's 5 to 6 minutes, turning occasionally. Do it in batches if you want. Meanwhile, we're going to half peel and thinly slice a red onion. So I'm just going to start chopping this up while they're cooking. I'm going to use the dicer. Just get a sharp knife, cut the ends off. Now this onion is actually going into, let me check. It's actually going to go into this pan. Did it say half an onion? Let me just check. Red onion. Yeah, half. But the whole of the onion. They smell good, guys. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you. Hopefully, I inspire you to go and make this yourself. Maybe you're thinking, I've not had meatballs for a long time, and I want to try this. I've also got something extra happening next week, which I will probably come on and broadcast. We'll see what happens. So I'm just thinning the onions, okay? Chopping them up using my dicer. Really, really simple. Really, really quick. And there go, that are chopped onions already. Really, really simple. So we want some cheese. So grate the cheese, which I'm going to actually use it. I'm going to use this today. We're going to use this machine. So we put our cheese in the top and we can grate it. I'll show you that in a second. And then we've got the bacon lardons as well. So you want 60 grams of bacon lardons. These are cooking up nicely, guys. What do you think? Should I put the lid over the top? I think I should put the lid over. What do you think? So these are the bacon lardons we're going to add. So 200 grams there, so I want just about a third of those bacon lardons. I'm just going to get some tongs. Where's my tongs? Should also start by doing the broccoli as well. The broccoli should have gone in the oven. They leave it so. Little tip for when you're doing broccoli, you know how if you get plastic on your broccoli, keep it in the plastic and just cut off the branches what you need. Just chop the end off. This is going to go on a baking tray. Ready in a second, everyone. Let's just check on these. Oh, these are going to break. You have to be so careful with these. Add a little bit more oil on the top. And I'll move them in a second. So with the broccoli, okay, let's have a look. It says add the water and the stock powder to the meatballs. Okay, that's afterwards. Stir the low the heat, cover the pan with a lid of foil and simmer until the meatballs are cooked through for 7 to 8 minutes. Meanwhile, halve any large broccoli florets and pop them on a baking tray, drizzle with oil, season with salt and pepper. So we're going to take some broccoli, and I like mine extra roasted, so I'm just going to put some broccoli on a tray. And then these are going to go in the oven. So here's our broccoli. Pop this into the oven. And put some salt and pepper on these as well. So they go in the oven. And they want to go in the oven for 15 to 18 minutes. Oh my word. Right, let me just grab salt and pepper. I mean, if you want to, you're probably better boiling your. You could steam your broccoli rather than put it in the oven. That's what I would have. I think we were going to do that last time. So this goes in the oven. Let's try and tidy up. Hopefully you're all still there, all watching these meatballs. But I think they're going to break up, if I'm completely honest with you. Okay, let's just turn them over. So they've not already stuck to the pan. There we go. Ah, one's broken, never mind. The pan's really hot, so let me just... Some will need longer. Some are breaking up. That's because of the... I'm using normal breadcrumbs, not panko breadcrumbs. Okay. So they're cooking away anyway, that's the main thing. And they smell nice. Just making sure. I'm going to turn my pan down. I'm also going to put the lid over it. Oh, actually, one moment. Before we do that, because it says when the meatballs are browned, add the onions and the bacon lard on. So let's add the bacon. We're going to have to move some of these down a bit. We're going to add in the onions. I'm going to have to move some of these down. I think it does say do it in batches, so I probably have done that in a separate pan now, but never mind. Let's add a bit of oil. It's fine though, it's fine. It's what cooking's all about, is experimenting. And if we keep an eye on that section. Yeah, I should have done that in a separate pan. Let's do it in a separate pan. One minute, guys. We're going to just get a separate pan and do these ones separately. I can transfer these onto another pan. They're already in its oil, so I'll show you in a second. It smells so good. So we've just taken another pan, put the onions in here, and we're going to add the bacon lardons and do them in there because there's not much room. If you're using a really big pan, then yes, that's fine. But so I'm going to add the bacon lardons to the other pan, and then once the meatballs are done, so it will help them cook quicker. So let's add some of these in. Okay, so we've got onions and we've got bacon lardons in this frying pan. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of oil just for the bacon. Put the light on, and I'm going to put the lid over this now. Okay. I'm just going to read what it says. So, grate the cheese. When the meatballs are brown, add the onions and the bacon lardons. Cook until the onion is soft, and then we add water and the stock. Yeah, I can transfer them to the other one actually once they're cooked a bit longer. We put the lid on. Well, actually, it says you're adding stock to the. I might be able to transfer them across once the onions are done. That's probably the best thing. Hello, Jay. Thanks for coming in. Once the bacon lardons and the onions are softened, I'm going to add it to this dish. Then we'll add the water and then we'll add the stock. I think that's the best thing to do. This is on a low heat anyway, so they're not going to burn. smell gorgeous. Some of them are breaking up a little bit, which is not good. Some of them are not even cooked properly yet. Okay. Hello Caroline, thanks for coming in. The meatballs, they're not too bad. We're getting there slowly. Probably should have had the water in now. Let's have the water in now. So you want 125 milliliters. So we're going to add in 125 milliliters of water. And then we're going to add our stock cube. Should have mixed this in with the water really, but let's add that in. Mix this in. Still waiting for the bacon to just mix all that in. We should use the wooden spoon. And then we're just going to put the lid over this, okay? And it's the steam that will help them cook a little bit quicker, okay? So they are brown. Waiting for the onions and the bacon to cook as well. So let's put a lid over this. Okay, so you see that? So we've added the stock. So I'm just waiting for the bacon. We've got broccoli in the oven as well. So I'm a bit all over the place tonight, you probably can tell. Just I should have used a bigger pan really, not the smaller pan. So that's why I'm having to do the bacon in a separate pan. Just show you. Here we go, look. So just doing it in a separate one. The onions don't take long in the bacon either. And then we'll add them to the pan with the meatballs. Probably the best thing. Hello, Amy. Thanks for coming in. I watched your broadcast yesterday. Oh, cheers, everybody. Happy Saturday. They smell amazing. So a couple more minutes for the bacon. So what we meant. So we've got the broccolis on, which is going to take 15 to 18 minutes. I would probably boil them, but that's up to you. And then what we're going to do once the potatoes are soft, we're going to add milk, butter, salt and pepper, and then we're going to add in the grated cheddar, which we're going to use the mini grater. So we'll add that into the cheddar, into the mash. Okay. And then we're going to do with the meatballs, once they're cooked, we can add in some jelly, red currant jelly, mash, and start to serve. So it's all coming together, guys. It's all coming together. Let's just have a little look, little peek. Oh yes, they're all cooking away nicely there. Let me just check on my potatoes. Yep, they're fine as well. The onions and the bacon lardons are cooking. Yeah, I know you can't see much at the minute, but you will be able to see it in a moment. A couple more minutes just for the bacon and the onions to soften. But yeah, I would use a bigger pan. I would definitely use a bigger pan, which was my mistake. I completely forgot how much room I needed for this dish. We also used the dicer as well, Caroline. We used the dicer to cut our onions. So I do find when you're cooking fresh, a lot of fresh meals require onions. Okay. What's that, Janet? Do you like hung old trannies? I'm not sure what that means. So this is nearly cooked. So I'm just gonna, I can add this in now because the bacon's nearly cooked and the onions are softened. I'm just gonna give it another 2 minutes. Melanie, Jay says to okay, so this is nearly done. So just waiting for the onions to soften down a bit. 2 more minutes, guys. 2 more minutes. So have you all had a nice day? Let me know in the chat what you've been doing today. Let's check on these. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, these are cooking nicely now. Just checking that stock. I might need to add some more water to this. So you're probably thinking, oh, what's that? That looks horrible. These are meatballs. We're going to add the bacon. This is the gravy as well that we're making. So we can start to add in. I'm going to add a little bit more water to this as well. So let's add in these onions, okay, and the bacon lardons. Okay. So we're going to mix all this in. This smells amazing. Let's add a little bit more water, just a tiny bit, because of the steam. Mix all that in. It'll help everything cook together, okay? So it doesn't look like much at the minute, but once this actually does come together and it all browns up nicely, this will be delicious. It doesn't matter if some of them break up, because the fact that I made them slightly bigger means that if when they break up, they end up becoming smaller meatballs, so you've kind of got more meatball in the dish. So we're going to put the lid back on there. We've added some more water to this. And we're nearly done, everyone. We're nearly done. Let me just turn this off. We're nearly done. Keep that on, turn this off. Turn it up just slightly. Okay, I'm just going to slightly try and tidy up a bit. Trying to keep what I need. I think we need tips, don't we, to keep our kitchen, to make more room for ourselves in the kitchen. Let me check on the potatoes. I think the potatoes are nearly done. Yep, their potatoes are done. Fabulous. So let's turn off the potatoes, drain them. One moment. So I'm going to drain the potatoes. And I'll spin you around in a second. So I'll show you. We're going to make the mash. We're going to make cheesy mash, everyone. Are you ready? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you're ready for me to make the cheesy mash. It's amazing what you can't see behind the scenes. Whoops. Okay, so while this is cooking, make sure everything else is turned off. I'm just going to bring you around a second, like that. So this is our mashed potato, which we've cooked, which has all been nicely boiled. So we're going to add in a splash of milk and some butter. So a splash of milk and some butter. So splash of milk A little bit more. Let's add some butter. Hopefully the connection's alright. Let me know. So we're going to add a knob of butter. Salt and pepper. Can we just read the instructions? So we're going to now add, keep warm with the lid while you finish. So we're going to, yep, let me just check. Oh, and then we're going to add in the grated cheese. So we don't actually have grated cheese yet. I think I'm going to use 2 of these. So we've got a little piece of cheese, and I'm going to use this. So we're going to slot this in, just like that. Break it up, and then all you do, you should be able to see, let me check, is we grate this up, just move it, and you see all the cheese is falling out. I'll do it that way so it falls in. How cool is that? This is my new favourite toy. Let's add another cheese in. I'm feeling cheesy. Cheese-alicious. So let's do this again then. I'm just going to show you one more time. So this is another great little tool gadget to get. So push this in, and then just, there is a smaller setting as well. Grate your cheese in. How cool is that? That is so cool, I love it. I absolutely love it. And then what we're going to do is just get a masher. Let's check on them meatballs as well. Oh, they're coming up nicely. We're just going to mash all this in. And this is your cheesy mash. You can all see that. Remember, I took the skins off, so. Can you all smell it, guys? Because it smells amazing. It's quite a bit, there's quite a lot to do in this recipe, I will be honest with you, but, you know, if you want good, tasty food, sometimes you've got to put a little bit of effort in. Okay, I'm just going to get, so you're going to keep the lid over that just while it's, whilst you're getting everything else ready. Right, there's one final thing we need to do. So I'll put the lid over this, try and put it on the side. So that's ready, everybody. I'm going to lift you back up. I'll move you to the side. So the next thing, the last thing we need to do, while the broccoli's in the oven, oh, they're coming up nicely as well, okay, is we're going to remove the lid and stir in some red currant jelly. So look at that, guys. This is coming together nicely. Look at this. This smells amazing, guys. I wish you could smell this. So let me get my wooden spoon. I'm just going to check everything's cooking through nicely. So remember, you're browning off your meatballs. So it's a bit like making a meat and gravy stew, but it's just the meat are in balls. Oh, this smells good, everyone. This smells really good. So what we're going to do then, to finish off with, we're going to add some red currant jelly. So when the meatballs are cooked through, remove the lid, stir in the red currant jelly, and you want 1 pot, which is about, I think, 2 tablespoons. or maybe one tablespoon of red currant jelly. So let's add the red currant jelly in. Add a little bit extra. There we go. How's the connection, everyone? So let's stir that in. Oh, this smells amazing. Oh, can I do like a? I want to lift it up so you can see properly. Look at this, everyone. Oops, it's really hot. Look at this, guys. It smells amazing. So it says, increase the heat, bubble the sauce until it's glossy and is thickened slightly. So really get in there, make sure it's all stirred in. Doesn't matter if some of the meatballs break up because that's what you want. Food's about just experimenting. We've got the bacon gravy in here. Oh. And then we just do it for 2 to 3 minutes. Just make sure you've got no pink bits. You know, sometimes if the heat's not gone on the side and you've got meat, you know, on the top, make sure everything's cooked through. And if it gets too thick, you can always add water to it. Oh, this smells good. Oh my word, guys, I'm super impressed with this. This is good. Right, I'm going to turn the oven off because the broccoli is now done. Okay, so we're going to put some mash on the plate and serve broccoli, and then put the meatballs on top of the mash and serve with the gravy. And that's hopefully how it's going to look. It's kind of going that way. So let's get some plates. Let's get the mash. Get a spoon. We're going to take this is our cheesy mash. So cheesy mash. Just going to pop this to one side. Just do the second one here. I'll move that down. I don't know how many calories is in this, but I can tell you in a moment. Okay, so that's the mash. And what we're now going to do is put on the broccoli, which we had in the oven. So we've got our broccoli. I've lost my... There we go. So we've got our broccoli here. So we're going to put them on the plate. Roasted broccoli. Put that back in the oven. And then finally, we're going to add the meatballs. So yeah, it's starting to thicken up now, so you can either do this individually. Oh, it smells good. I'm going to pop these on top, just like that, individually. And you'll see this, guys. Pop the other ones on. Should turn it down now. Turn it off actually. It's still on the hob. Oh yes. So we're just taking out each meatball. It reminds me of something else, this. Doesn't matter if some of them are broken up. It's all food and it's all edible. And don't forget we've got the bacon on here as well. Look at that, guys. What do we think? Making you hungry? That's a good thing. Or maybe it's not a good thing. And we've got the onions in here as well. Oh, so yeah, just it's a bit like a shepherd's pie, isn't it? But with different ingredients, but in balls. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Okay, let's take this off because this is going to burn in a minute. So move this down. There we go. So this is what it looks like on the picture. So it's not the best, you know, but it's very similar. More like a shepherd's pie. But meatballs are there. The onions, we've got bacon, cheesy mash, and broccoli on the side. Roasted broccoli. So I would probably boil the broccoli. You don't need to. So let's have a little taste. It's not something I usually do. So you just have to bear with me one moment. And then we'll have a taste. Okay, so let's have a little taste. Oops, sorry everyone. I'm making you hungry. Okay, I don't usually do this, so this is what it looks like. So let's have a little taste of one of the meatballs. Watch one of them not be cooked. No, I think they're all cooked. So we're going to take one of these meatballs. You'll see. Not obviously balls, but let's have a little taste. Mmm. Mmm. They actually are not too bad. So remember, this is not the actual ingredients from HelloFresh directly, but it tastes nice. Just tastes a bit more like a shepherd's pie with the onions, because you can taste the red currant as well. Let's have a little taste of the mash. That mash is really nice. The meatballs, I maybe should have added a bit more herbs. You can taste the herbs, the Italian herbs. But I think you need the correct panko breadcrumbs for them to really, you know, firm up. But they're nice. It reminds me more of a shepherd's pie, though, because some are beef and some are pork. And if it's beef, then it's shepherd's pie. But this is not too bad. And also, I would normally have meatballs with pasta, so maybe that's why it's slightly different. I'm just checking. I can taste the bacon. It's actually really nice. You get that sweetness from the black currants. So that's the sweetness coming through. Overall, that is not too bad. It's a really nice dish. So give it a try, guys. As I say, not use real proper panko breadcrumbs, and you should be fine. But yeah, use the recipe for the mash, cheesy mash. Let's have a little broccoli. That's really nice. So thank you all for watching, guys. Have a really good night. Tomorrow, really good. This one tomorrow, everybody. Beef noodles. We'll use the rest of the beef mince, and we're going to make beef noodles with green beans and pepper. So hopefully I'll see you all then. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'm going to go and finish this. It does remind me of a shepherd's pie, if I'm honest, but it has a little sweetness to it, and the cheesy mash is just a little bit different. So you're very welcome. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, 5 o'clock UK time, British summertime. Take care, everybody. See you later.